Welcome, language learners from all around the globe, to Listen Up, the podcast that takes you on a captivating voyage through the English language. Whether you've just started your journey or have been navigating the intricacies of English for some time, this podcast is designed to be your trusty compass, guiding you towards fluency and unlocking the wonders of English. I'm your host, Karen, a passionate traveller and an experienced teacher of English as a second language. Join me as we embark on an exciting expedition filled with British history read by a native speaker. Together, we'll conquer the challenges and celebrate the victories of learning English as a foreign language. Each episode of Listen Up will immerse you in a variety of topics, from aspects of British culture, history, and literature. We'll explore useful vocabulary that will empower you to communicate confidently in English. If you want to read along with the podcast, head to my website www.onepawinthesand.com/ESL. The link is in the description. But this podcast isn't just about learning English in isolation. It's about building a community of language learners, supporting one another, and fostering a love of the English language. I encourage you to engage with us through my Patreon page, where you can connect with fellow learners, ask questions, and share your own language journey. So, whether you're sipping tea in Tokyo, walking the streets in Sao Paulo, or studying in a bustling cafe in Berlin, Listen Up is here to accompany you on your quest for English fluency. Join me as we embark on this transformative expedition, where language becomes an adventure and your dreams of effective communication become a reality. Today's episode is called First Drunk Driver. George Smith, a London cab driver, unwittingly paved the way for significant societal changes. He was the first person to be convicted of drunken driving in 1897. At the turn of the 20th century, the bustling streets of London were a mosaic of horse-drawn cabs, bicycles, and pedestrians. The concept of the motor vehicle was in its infancy, with automobiles being a rare sight on the city roads. It was in this context that George Smith, a cab driver by trade, found himself at the centre of a groundbreaking legal case. On the evening of this day, 10th of September 1897, George Smith was navigating his handsome cab, drawn by a trusty steed, through the streets of London. However, there was a twist to this journey. Smith was not under the influence of alcohol in the traditional sense, but rather the influence of a potent spirit called ethanol, commonly found in alcoholic beverages. A vigilant police officer, possibly recognizing the signs of intoxication in Smith's erratic driving, decided to intervene. The constable, using his discretion, made the historic decision to arrest Smith on charges of drunk driving. This arrest would set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the legal landscape. George Smith's trial took place at Marlborough Street Magistrates' Court in London. It was a momentous occasion, as it marked the first ever prosecution for drunk driving. The case garnered significant public and media attention, with many curious about the outcome of this unprecedented legal challenge. In court, the prosecution argued that Smith's condition, whether due to alcohol or a gasoline spirit, impaired his ability to operate his horse-drawn cab safely. The defense, however, maintained that Smith was not inebriated and that he had simply consumed a small amount of alcohol for medicinal purposes. After careful consideration, the court handed down a verdict that would send shockwaves through the legal and societal spheres. George Smith was found guilty of drunk driving and was fined the sum of £1, a significant penalty at the time. This landmark decision laid the foundation for future legislation and legal precedents relating to driving under the influence of alcohol. While the fine itself was modest by today's standards, the message was clear. Society would no longer tolerate the dangerous act of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. George Smith's conviction in 1897 represented a watershed moment in the history of road safety. It served as a wake-up call, prompting the re-evaluation of the risks associated with drunk driving. Over time, legal frameworks and penalties for driving under the influence would evolve, reflecting society's growing awareness of the deadly consequences of such behaviour. His case serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of responsible and sober driving. While much has changed since that fateful day in 1897, the legacy of George Smith lives on in the ongoing efforts to combat the menace of drunk driving and ensure the safety of our streets. And that wraps up another episode of Listen Up. I hope you enjoyed learning about my topic today and practicing your English. Remember, the exploration doesn't have to end here. If you have any lingering questions or want to continue the conversation, I've got some great opportunities for you. First off, I offer private lessons for those of you eager to expand your knowledge further, whether it's practicing today's subject or exploring other topics. I'm here to guide you on your English journey. Reach out to me through my website or social media platforms, and let's embark on a personalised learning experience together. I have been involved with training people for more than 10 years. I've been teaching English as a second language for over a year, in which time I have taught over 500 students, many of whom are regulars. But wait, there's more! If you're a devoted fan of Listen Up and want to show your support, consider joining our Patreon community. Your contribution directly helps us bring you more episodes and maintain the quality of our show. Your support truly means the world to me, and we couldn't continue this podcast without you. So whether you choose private lessons or Patreon, or both, I look forward to staying connected and exploring the fascinating realms of English as a second language together. Thank you once again for joining us on Listen Up. Until next time, keep practicing.